I missed having a mentor because I'm not from the industry. It has never been about just that one thing that I want to do or not want to do. I've always wanted to do everything. I would like to see more women being pushed to the front as well. How long are you going to drive all your content on just male leads? Even if someone in some corner of this world is making a little bit of a noise, it's adding to this whole thing. A lot of the South Indian writers and directors come from different socio-economic backgrounds. These are boys that have come from villages sometimes who've come to make a mark and they've hit it out of the park.
For all film-related interviews, reviews and content, please like and subscribe to Puja Talwar. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram.
Regina, lovely to see you. And you are playing one of the people I really admired, because Mrinalini Sarabhai did so much for, in the field of arts and lifestyle. I mean, basically, for our culture, I would say, she was a dancer and also founding the Darpana Academy. How is it like to sink your teeth into playing a real character? Because it's a very tricky situation. You do bring in how you perceive the person. And there's, of course, the person of what the person is all about. And it's how people perceive that person.
You're right. It is pretty tricky to play a real life character. And more so someone who was so, who was at the center of many things, also because of the family that she was in, also because of the person that she was, be it the arts, or be it science, or be it the politics. I think all the men and women at that time in India had this fire in them to want to create and to want to push India forward. Whatever field it is. And Mrinalini Sarabhai is not someone who would sit back and watch it happen. She would want to be at the forefront of things, right? And she had a beautiful platform, and she created this beautiful platform for herself and for a lot of women to follow her later, where you could talk about things or you could bring about an awareness through an art form. And I think that was so beautiful because she makes it a point to have her performances saying something, to stand for something, be it dowry death or sati or any of those issues that was so deep rooted in our so-called culture back then, which was against women. So to take on that responsibility was a beautiful challenge. I'm so glad that the makers of the show saw that in me as an actor and could put that trust in me. It was important that I lived up to it.
What was it like to play a dancer?
I love dance. I think it's a beautiful medium to showcase anything. I love that my body can move to rhythm. I learned Bharatanatyam when I was about 9 for about 4 years, and just to be able to get into the skin of a dancer and to someone who's a pioneer, someone who has created a legacy around dance and who's known for exactly this. That was the path that I wanted to hit. Playing a dancer was something that I was very ecstatic about, but to play someone who's made the world look at what she's doing and how she's doing it was where my challenge lied. So that was beautiful because I got to live with the art form, the dance form, for a really long time through the show, through shooting the show and everything. I still remember when we started shooting. We started our first sketch in Jaipur, and you see, we did season 1 and season 2 together at the same time. So we were jumping timelines all the time. But to just be able to, while we were shooting, I would have dance practices happening in my room on top in Jaipur. The house that we shot, the Sarabhai house that we shot, I would be dancing over there sometimes with the master. Jagdish master had come down from Dalpana to help me with the dance and all of that. And it did obviously take quite a bit of an effort. but it was beautiful. Like there is this performance in season 2. It's called the Blue Lotus. I think it's a very important performance for Mrinalini Sarabhai in all of her life. And I think that's a performance I'm waiting to watch. I haven't seen it, and I can't wait to watch it.
Awesome. And you know what I like about your career or your filmography, look at me, choreography. Filmography is it's a very interesting blend. And also what I like about you as an actor is not someone who goes by the length of a role. You know, I recently saw you in Farzi. I actually want to understand what is your process now after you've been working since you were a child. You know, I mean, I can't call you the child artist, but you know, someone who's been around, but it's very interesting. So what is it now? Is it the director, the script? I know for a lot of actors, it's the length of their role. Does that matter to you?
It has always been the character. I mean, you talk about Farzi, but there's also Ek Ladki Ko Dekha To Aisa Laga that everyone calls my debut. Because it's my first Hindi film. So technically it is my debut. But it was really not the thought of, oh, my character is really small and I only have this much to play. But it was the character itself that I felt like, as an actor, that's where my selfishness lies. Probably, if I have to even say that I have that selfish quality, is to want to play that character that strikes a chord with people. And to play Kuhu meant I was striking a chord or telling the LGBTQIA community that I'm an ally, but not directly saying it in an interview, but through my work, you know. Hey, you know what? I believe in you, and this is how I'm going to show you that I believe in you. And I have that as an actor. I get to do that, and I will continue doing it. So even when it came to Farsi, I love the makers like Rajan TK. You know, they have a universal thing with everyone. They strike a chord with everybody. And when they came up to me, Raj had asked me, you know, if I would like to play Rekha in Farzi, and I was like, sure, why not? To just be a part of something so good, you know, it was Shahid's debut OTT, Vijay Sethupath's as well. I think it's just for me, it's not about it's just about what I feel like doing as an actor. There is really no process to it, except the fact that if I feel it, I will do it. And if I don't feel it, I won't do it.
But also as an actor, when we had last spoken, there's also the interesting aspect is someone who just moved away, did not conduct herself in the normal way actors are supposed to, found this is not working, just moved away, which they actually say, you know, the more you're seen, the more relevant you are, but you didn't choose to do that. So how does it, the mind, I really want to know, how does your mind work and what is your future plan? Because I don't like the word pan-Indian personally, because it's, I think actors are actors, whichever industry they represent. But I'm glad within our country, the film industry, there's so many industries, and you've managed to get a taste of all of them.
That has always been my idea from the beginning. As when I started off, I started as a career. It started in 2011, but prior to that, I had done about 4 films. As well in the South, and I had done a ton of ads, you know, but it has never been about just that one thing that I want to do or not want to do. I've always wanted to do everything. When people ask me what's your favorite, what's that one role you want to play, I can't think about it. I am greedy that way. I want to do it all because I feel like I can. And there's this innate, you know, this feeling of I would like to do this and I would like to do that. Whatever I can possibly in this physical form do, I would love to do. And that's always been what I've led with. And like I said, if I feel like it, I will do it. And if I don't feel like it, there is no amount of payment, or there's no amount of coaxing, or there's no amount of convincing that can make me do something I don't want to do when it comes to a character or a film play. There are so many roles that were offered to me. like in bigger films that I didn't strike a chord with, or I didn't think I would be able to fit into, that I haven't done. And I've been okay with it because it's a decision that I made knowing exactly why I made it. So that has always helped. And yeah, I honestly, Puja, there is literally no process to this, and it's always been feeling. Like I've always gone with my gut feeling.
And lately also, I mean, the kind of women that you have portrayed are women that people would resonate with. It's not like, it's like a character that I can't find a resonance with. And I'm sure as a woman and as an actor who was a female, I think you also look for what message I could send. Do you think with OTT, you are getting a wider berth? You feel the stories of women being told about women is now finally, something that we thought was just called the female oriented script is now actually getting the acceptance that it should have?
Yeah, the thing with OTT is it's very interesting. And I like how interesting it is because there is now a new platform, and with a new platform, it means you now need more content. And how long are you going to drive all your content on just male leads, right? The reason why female leads did not get what they needed to get maybe when it came to films is because people always spoke about openings, people always spoke about business, people always spoke about, will this do enough? The producers always thought, will, if I do it with a hero and with an actress, a female lead, what business is it going to make? Is it going to make as much business as it would make with this person? That's why you have directors waiting for years to make a film with an actor, with a male lead, and not so with the female lead. But with the onset of OTT, and also this is for everyone, not just for females, but since we're talking about women specific. So with the onset of OTT, for female leads and the need for content, and the fact that you can now do something that is not entirely like business based, or you're not thinking how much business is it going to make, there is more of a liberty to do films with women or shows with women as the protagonist. And it's so funny how it just comes from the fact that we need more content today, and we have a platform that we could do all of this on. I think it's the best time for female leads to do more such shows and films, and today, and it's not just for women, anyone can be a lead.
You proved it with your last two females together.
Exactly. Yeah. See, so that helps, and I'm glad that people are looking out for more content, and that's giving me a platform to do what I would like to do.
I mean, did you actually anticipate two females? The last one, Sakini, did you anticipate like two females led film and the kind of like box office noise you both made?
I wanted it to, for many reasons. I mean, really did, because it was a two female-led film that actually found its way to the theater. I mean, it started off with that, and then the pandemic hit. So we started that off before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit, and then we could see how difficult it was to release films in theaters. And this was a two female-led film. Again, everyone was apprehensive. So I definitely did want it to do well, because for many reasons, and the main reason it being that women need to see that, or producers at least need to see that, okay, if we work with women, then there is a chance, there's a business, there's a good business aspect to this. It went on to have to prove a lot. So for that main thing, I wanted it to do well. I'm glad with how it did on OTT once it came out. In theaters, I wished it did a little better. I wish people knew the importance behind it and supported it for what it was. But you take everything with a pinch of salt, and I know I will not cease to do the things that I'm doing in spite of the results that I see. I will keep doing it till I see the results that I know I should be seeing.
But when we talk about women, everything that, when do you think this whole issue of pay parity will be solved? Because now I love the sound of everyone uniting and talking about it. It's getting
Yes.
loud.
Yes, it is. It's only going to get louder and louder and louder and better and better and better. And even if someone in some corner of this world is making a little bit of a noise, it's adding to this whole thing, right? And that's how I look at it. Because all of us need to keep constantly making that noise to make this noise louder. Like I can scream by myself, but I know that other people around who are also screaming, and when I know that, I want to keep at it. I want to keep doing what I'm doing. And when people like you, especially women, see the effort and want to put that effort out, it's like a ripple effect, it will just keep going. There's no stopping of this energy, and that's what's so beautiful about it. And I'm so happy to be here today in this time, having to talk about these things, being in the conversation. First of all, that for me is a privilege, and that for me is something I would always take the responsibility, uh, take up that responsibility, and never let it down. The fire will never die. It will never cease talking about it, even if I'm being called a feminist, or even if I'm being called whatever it is people want to put put a word to. It really doesn't matter, as long as I'm speaking my truth, and as long as I am resonating with the people who are speaking their truth as well. I think that's the best.
Awesome. And which is the other change as a woman you want to really see? You think it's high time it happened in the industry? High time.
I mean, I don't know if it's high time that we see things happening in the industry, but I would like to see a lot more female-led films at the forefront. Like how people celebrate through my career. So I was saying, in my career, I have had the privilege to also work with a lot of debut heroes who have gone on to become superstars. It is not easy for a hero as well as an actor as well to create his mark when he's a newcomer. And I understand the difficulty that an actor goes through. I would like to see more women being pushed to the front as well. And it's not just the actresses who have already created a mark to be able to do that. And that is going to take time. And it's very understandable that it is going to take time. So, just to get audiences to a theater today itself is a task. I would like to see, people celebrating female newcomers on the big screen as well someday. Like looking forward to seeing what this new actress has done, or any of that. And something that I've always felt the industry on the whole needed is mentors, people who are willing to let the new generation come up and give them tips and give them pointers, and not necessarily hold the hand. I think that's something I missed. I missed having a mentor because I'm not from the industry. I don't know how the industry functions. I didn't know how the industry functions. I now do, but that's through experience. And I always wished I had someone that I could, go up to and ask, for not necessarily advice, but just to understand the process.
Totally get that. Also, the fact that you do the North and the South, which is that one difference. I know in the North they promote a lot, and I know the South is too much promotion.
I think I remember having this conversation a while ago, because I was trying to see what the difference between the North and the South is, and today with the Telugu films and the Kannada films doing so well, you see, you have a KGF, you have a Kantara, and then you have an RRR, and you have a Bahubali, and you have all these films. It went on to prove my understanding of the two industries quite well. People say today those films are so rooted, they're grounded, they're about us as Indians, our culture, this, that. The South Indians, the filmmakers that I have seen in my brief experience and stint as an actor, a lot of the South Indian writers and directors come from different socioeconomic backgrounds. These are boys that have come from villages sometimes, who've come to make a mark, and they've hit it out of the park, What I see in the north is that you have, first of all, you have a studio set up, and you have actors who want to understand the craft. So these are kids who have probably studied in city schools, and now who have joined a studio and now want to understand the craft. So they understand direction a little bit. They come in and assist as assistant directors, and then move on to acting, or they it's interesting. And then you have studios backing these people, these directors. So so I feel like the basis from which stories are written in the South, and the people who write these stories really have very deep-rooted stories that they want to tell. And yeah, and I feel like that's the base. I don't know if you catch my drift. I don't know if you understand what
I got you.
Yeah, so I think that's where the deep-rooted stories come from, probably.
Absolutely. And before we go, so what is your future course of action? What are you planning to do next?
Well, the first quarter of this year has been great. So I'm still still working through it. The opportunities that I'm getting today, because of the shows that have, released over the last couple of years, are really good. There are a few Hindi films as well that are coming my way, things that I'm looking at. I am being very picky and choosy about what I do. Right now is my time to I'm reading a script almost every day, and trying to pick what I want to do next. There are 4 of my South films that are ready for release, hoping to see a theatrical release soon. So that's happening, and there is news that I would love to share with everyone, but in time, in like a couple of weeks maybe. Yeah.
Wow, looking forward to that. All the very best, and keep shining. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to speak with you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Puja. Thank you. Likewise. Bye. Take care.
If you've liked this interview, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.